Well, welcome to Stroke, the Journey of Within podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Avila. I want to thank all of you or anybody that was watching this video right now. I'm partly doing this. I've never used slides before, so bear with me as it seems a little clunky, but I appreciate being here. I would not be here without, I would not be doing what I'm doing without you, audience. But I have put the chat on screens. So if you want to say hi or say something, people will see what you have to say on the side of the screen there. It is live. This is a live chat audience, interactive audience chat. So please feel free to say something, whatever. But I'm doing this for one reason. I intend to write a book this year. My book is called Stroke, the Journey Within podcast, a journey within, my journey within. So I want to invite you to my book. Hopefully I'll be out beginning end of this year, beginning next year, called Stroke, My Journey Within. Because really my stroke has been a journey within my own mind. Hey, JB Parrish. There's JB Parrish. Yeah, the Kingdom, thank you for being here. JB, thank you. You know, that brother is always out there. I appreciate it, bro. I really, really appreciate it. And if this is your first time being on here, or watch this podcast, please consider subscribing to Stroke TV YouTube channel, and share this video. But I really want to thank my community for being out there. So I'm just telling you, I'm telling you my story. It's what I want to do is, and again, bear with me. It may seem a little clunky, Jamie, with the using of these. Oh, there's Scott White from Georgia, Cindy. Thank you for being here, Cindy. Cindy, thank you. It means so much to me to have you out there. Appreciate it. So I wanted to show that your chat, your comments on the side of the screen this time. I'm using them for the first time, and see if I like it. It makes it interactive because my podcasts are interactive. And you guys, I've never actually sat down and told my story. And as I said before, I want to write a book this year. And hopefully I will do that. My goal is to write the book this year, so it'll be available probably beginning next year, I guess. I have no idea. I've never done this before. So bear with me as I get through this. But Cindy, you're going to make me cry. I mean, Cindy is a publisher and she helps to write books. JB sent me a United Kingdom, Cindy, but as you know. But my journey in this stroke and bringing Andrew's stroke has been a journey within. My book could be titled Stroke, not the journey within, my journey within. Because stroke, my brain Andrew's stroke has been a journey within my own mind, within my own life. And I cannot. This is stroke, and stroke has become my purpose, is to help people that go through this. So let me jump right into it. I'll get into it because we only got 30 minutes together. So here's the first part. The chapter 1, Cindy, of my book, will be the worst headache of my life. I cannot describe to you the headaches. They're different. A brain aneurysm headache is different. It will develop. For me, it developed in this catastrophic headache, and I'll get into that. each day after I was trying to remember where my first headache was, and I don't remember, but I knew it was not normal. It was a headache I'd never experienced before. Each day the headache got a little worse, a little more intense. Uh, if I was trying to describe the headache that I experienced, I couldn't put it in words because the headache from a brain aneurysm is so different. It's so different. I can't describe it. But each day I have my headache, they became more and more intense. More and more intense. To take you a little bit, let me back up a little bit and give you history. When I first started getting my headaches, I was self-employed. I ran my company for 12 years. And it was a water storage tank company. And we did large capacity water storage tanks. And I designed water systems. And then one day, and I cannot remember, and I'm terribly sorry, I cannot remember where I was or what I was doing when I got my first headache. But they began when I got my first headache. I can remember I take 3 Advil, 4 Advil, wouldn't even touch it. Wouldn't touch that thing. The headache didn't go away. And then you can remember we were self-employed. Rebecca and I were running our own company, and we had no medical insurance. And so I didn't want to tell her I hid the headaches from her. I didn't tell Rebecca anything about the headaches at first. The second week, the headache started, and I went through the first week. Okay, I survived. The second week, I thought the headache was so intense and so brutal. That bug in my legs, I was laying on the floor for hours. And the pain was so extreme, I felt like suicide was the only way to get out of the pain. And there was one case that my headaches got so bad, I knew I had to tell Rebecca. And it was this one family event. My mother-in-law's boyfriend came down from Oregon and went to go see San Francisco. In fact, this was the lookout. I was actually looking out at the Golden Gate Bridge. I stood up. I remember I could walk back then. And I could stood up to go see the bridge and look over the overlook. And then this happened. The whole bridge of San Francisco turned upside down. I felt nauseous. And all of a sudden, I knew the thing was something was seriously wrong with my headaches because the pain was intense. I got vertigo. Everything turned upside down. It was very intense. If I was describing the reason I picked this, because this is exactly what they felt like. And if you ever have had like a headache like this, don't do what I did and ignore the warning signs. Because the warning signs something was really wrong. My headache was so bad. If you were to take the ice pick right there, put it on top of your skull, take a hammer and pound it into my head, through my skull into my brain. That's what it felt like. It felt like an ice pick was being driven into my brain. And that's where I knew something is seriously wrong. That headache was not a normal migraine. The headache I felt or was experiencing was really, really intense. And then when you see the ice pick was driven in my brain. It literally felt like an ice pick was driven in my brain. It was that bad. I mean, I told you before, I felt the only way to get out of the pain I was in was to commit suicide because I was in such intense pain. The pain was unimaginable. And there'll be a lot more details in my book when I get my book written this year. Because I'm just doing this to get the bullet points. But take a look. When you experience this level of pain, it's beyond words. It literally was beyond words. Now, I told Rebecca, finally broke down and told Rebecca I was having these headaches. I went to the ER 4 times after telling her, three or four times. And each time they sent me in with migraine medication. They weren't migraines. Because of the migraine medication they gave me, I take it would do a thing to it. It do that like it's still like at last the ice pick was in my brain. And that's really when I should have known something was wrong. That's what my opinion, they should have known something was wrong. Because I told them I went to the ER, like I said, 3 times. And all 3 times was to release migraine medication. So I found myself in so much pain. I knew there was something seriously wrong. My life was about to take a turn, and I felt deadly. I mean, they were that intense that the pain was so intense that they felt deadly. I feared for my life. My life was going to end, and I thought they were over. And then, after we went to San Francisco, about 2 weeks later, I think, that's when my aneurysm ruptured. That's when those headaches, they came to an end. And I got up in the morning like I normally got in the shower, and my brain aneurysm ruptured. Yeah, Sydney, I see Sydney coming. Sydney, suicide, I remember when I was having these headaches, like an ice pick was driven in my brain. That I didn't want to tell Rebecca because I didn't want Rebecca to worry about me. I used to sit there without her knowing it and contemplate suicide. Of course, I never did it. I couldn't do it because they wanted to go through that. But what it was is you see that little bubble that right there is a main artery coming out from the spinal cord, branches off the right and left hemisphere of the brain. When I'm an aneurysm, the bubble, the thin spot bubble, just like you see there at the Y. And according to a neurosurgeon, the bubble began to press on my brain. It got so big. In fact, it was probably as big as a golf ball one time, just before it burst. But the aneurysm began to press on my brain, causing intense pain. You feel the blood. The pain would literally buckle my knees. I lay on the floor for hours and not be able to move because if I moved, it would intensify. And so I think with the brain aneurysm, again, I wanted to tell you guys, I'm doing this to kind of get started on my book because my next podcast, I should tune in next Friday, same time, same place. And I will get better at what I'm doing, giving the presentation. But I think everybody needs to know, if you get migraines, go to the ER and have them check it out. What they should have done, it was funny, when before my aneurysm burst, ruptured, I went to the neuro doctor and he was supposed to schedule an MRI. Well, he forgot, of all things, and my brain aneurysm burst. But my neurosurgeon said, it's probably better they didn't find it. Because if they would have found it, they would have done a craniotomy based upon the lid up my head. And went in there, tried to surgically remove the brain aneurysm that he said that you probably would have died. And so I'm in a way, it's the way God's divine hand works. The neuro doctor forgot to schedule the MRI because they would have found, like I said, my neurosurgeon said they would have died. But my brain aneurysm, when it ruptured, of course I was unconscious at the time. There was a black hole in my memory that I cannot remember. But Rebecca told me that my brain aneurysm dropped me in the shower. They dropped me out of the shower. The paramedics came, dropped me out of the shower, and then administered first aid right there. I was able to stabilize it. I was 47, just knew at the time my brain aneurysm. Now, after a brain aneurysm, I was in an induced coma for probably about, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks. During that time, during my brain aneurysm, or during my hospital stay there, and I missed a big chunk. When I first woke up, I was in induced coma for 2 weeks. Let me pull this up. You don't want to look at that guy. I was in a induced coma for weeks before. And that is, I will go back to this one slide because that really looks very similar to what I had. I woke up 2 weeks later from my brain aneurysm. After a brain aneurysm, I woke up to a hospital, beeping. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move half my body. I literally was trapped inside my own body. I couldn't move. I couldn't communicate. I was scared to death. I cannot tell the terror. I use that word terror. And I experienced that word, that terror. There's nothing more terrifying than waking up. I mean, I didn't realize 2 to 3 weeks later in the hospital and my life had gone by. I didn't know it. But I woke up in the hospital. I do remember a little something. I was air vac. I remember the air vac a little bit. I don't remember totally. But, I could not. There's so much detail. I will next Friday try to get more detail for you. But I think if there's anything that happened to me during that time that I remember, the headaches were so intense. Earlier, I told you about the aspect being driven in my skull, into my brain. When you have a brain aneurysm, the headaches are unimaginable. I cannot describe to you the intensity that they were. Actually, the rupture was relieving in a way. Scared the crap out of me, but no more headaches. They were gone. I had no more because the brain aneurysm had ruptured. But I talk about being a stroke survivor. what happened to me is 2 weeks later, I was in that coma, this induced coma. A microscopic blood clot left the aneurysm site, which had coiled with titanium coils. And that left my very tiny microscopic blood clot, left the brain aneurysm site, floated in the cerebral fluid, and landed on my brain, causing me to have a massive stroke. So that's how I became a stroke survivor. I first had my brain aneurysm, and then during my coma, I had a stroke. You know, Sydney, you made a comment about survival. You know, you're most fortunate to become a survivor at that point. And, you know, that survival is all you can do at that point. You look like that guy sitting in the ER intensive care after a brain rupture, after a stroke, couldn't move, couldn't talk. It was intense to say the least. But you know, everybody, I want you to know, even though stroke and brain aneurysm became my reality, it really catapulted me into what I'm doing today. I'm now currently building stroke TV media. I'm helping thousands of other stroke survivors around the world, helping them find hope and find encouragement to keep going, to keep fighting. I'm telling you, all the other diseases I know out there, they kill you. You eventually die from them. Stroke is different. Stroke leaves you maimed, leaves you alive for decades. Most people. So, you know, I've lived 15 years. I had my stroke back in my brain aneurysm and stroke September 17th, 2010. I was 47 at the time. I'm now 62. But I tell you what, there is nothing more life-altering than stroke. When I look at my brothers and stroke survivors out there in the world, I think stroke survivors may be some of the strongest people I've ever met in my life because they endure such hardship and keep going, keep fighting. So let's get back to my story. So when the Golden Gate turned upside down, I had a brain aneurysm. I had a stroke in my coma. I think probably that is probably the most life-altering and most scared I've been in my life. When I lay there, woke up from my coma, and being told that 2 weeks plus went past by my wife. And I get kind of emotional. I guess this is emotional for me to really think back what happened. Because, man, that time, you know, the way it goes right now, I think I might be getting so emotional. I get. I can't. I'm talking. I feel like crying. It was the most life-altering thing that ever happened to me. But like Cindy said, God continues to bless you. And you know, God used this stroke, this brain aneurysm to reach people, to help people. And only God could do that. and I'll get to my near-death experience I had went a little bit later. I get too choked up. I have to cut this short a little bit. I'm sorry. Please come back next Friday, same time. I think I'll be better, emotionally more stable. But I want to take a minute. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Please put them in chat lines before I go. Because remember, I only have 30 minutes. That's not a time really. I can't believe it. It's in the way. But Jamie Parrish says, Scott White is one of the stroke survivors. Jamie Parrish is one of the stroke survivors. Sydney, it means a lot for me for you to be here. Sydney, thank you for being here. Well, Jimmy, oh my goodness, I didn't think I'd be this emotional. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm doing so emotional. I'm just kidding. I didn't think it trigger all these emotions in me. I'll start again. I'll do my be here next Friday. I'll be a lot less emotional. This is my first podcast. I'm going to tell my story. So just to backtrack just a bit and let me go. I've been having massive headaches. I was at the comeback for 2 weeks. My brain aneurysm, most brain aneurysms kill people. I got real fortunate. God looked out for me. I had a near-death experience, which I won't get into. That really was, it wasn't my brain aneurysm, it was stroke. That was a game changer. It was a near-death experience I had. And then my life changed from that day on. Age 47, I had a stroke. Age 47, I almost died. But I wanted to ask you to please get back next Friday. And I will try to get the slides in order and do a better job. But I can't wait to write a book. Oh, Cindy, you're such a sweetheart. Yeah, I get talking about emotions. I had no idea I would get triggered by emotions so much because I can start crying right now. I just feel miscommunicated right now because my emotions are. Thank you, Cindy. I will try to do me. It's hard to be. I am who I am. I am who I am. And I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being part of my life. I appreciate that a lot. Each and every one of you. Thank you. Again, I hope to see you next Friday, and I'll be able to tell you more about what's happening. Okay, I'm I appreciate it. Thank you for your encouragement, sister. I appreciate that, Cindy. Thank you for encouragement. It's definitely been hard for me. It's been a long 15 years, but 15 years of my life have gone by like. Okay, I got to go, guys. I got to break down. I can't believe it's happening. But thank you for being here. I'll see you next Friday. Again, same time, same place. I'll do better next Friday. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you for being here. It means a lot to me. Okay, guys, I got to go. Cry like a baby. Bye, everybody.